Keep our energy high. Let's give it up right now for Tamara. Big round of applause. Let's go, everybody. Get him, girl.
Hi, everyone. I'm excited to be the one right before the break. No. Okay, so who here has an iPad? Please raise your hand. This is awesome. Okay, who here, raise your other hand if you have iPad envy and you're ready for one. Okay. You're probably going to be out at the Apple Store today, I hope, okay? Just to get started, what I'm going to do is share some top apps to help you from list to close. So we're not going to be talking about Angry Birds. We're not going to be talking about Words with Friends. We're talking about apps that help you be productive and efficient in your business. So the first one I want to share with you is, okay. We're a little bit further ahead. It's SoundNote. So if you do have an iPad and you want to download this app, it's approximately $5. Like, don't quote me on prices because they do go up and down. SoundNote is great, and this will be a hit for you at the conference for the next few days. This allows you to record what the speaker is saying. You can type notes, and you can handwrite notes as well. The wonderful thing is if you're nodding off, hopefully that's not the case during this presentation, or if you just missed something really important that the speaker has to say, later you can go back and press play. You can click on the little area in which you were typing, and it'll auto-forward to that part of the recording so that you don't have to hear the whole presentation over, but you know exactly what you missed. So far, good app to help you out with your business, to learn here at the conference? Awesome. Okay, iPad stylus. If you don't already have a stylus, please get one. This is not a Nintendo stylus. This is specifically for iPhones, Androids, and iPads. The ones that are the best are the ones that have a little rubber tip at the end, and you can buy these anywhere from $5 to $25. A lot of conventions will give these to you as little prizes as well. And the wonderful thing is, I'm going to show you a few apps so that you can have your clients sign the contract on the iPad. And wouldn't it be wonderful, rather than handing them the iPad and asking them to use the finger, the way the President of the United States was, they actually have a wonderful stylus so that it looks more professional. Okay, so let's talk about which agent are you? Do you ever feel like this guy? I know I do, especially a couple hours before I'm going on a listing presentation and the printer fails. Sound familiar? Yeah, okay, we've all been there. I would much rather be cool, calm, and relaxed walking up to the door like this guy, prepared for a listing presentation, being ready to present on my iPad and not having to fumble around in the time that I'm preparing and the time that I'm walking to the door. So Dropbox, show of hands, who here is a Dropbox user? Now, I need a hoot and a holler if you love it. Okay, so we love Dropbox. Are you using it to its fullest potential? Some of you may not know what Dropbox is yet, but what this is, it's a document storage system. This allows you to use your desktop computer and store your documents onto the cloud. So you have to do some prep work ahead of time on your computer at home or at your office, and basically everything stays on your hard drive, but whenever you're connected to the internet, you can also transfer your files up to the cloud. Now this is awesome because it's inevitable that a few hours before you go on your listing presentation, the printer fails, right? We've all been there. So instead of fumbling around for a thumb drive or a CD or a disk to have to burn it and run to Kinko's or run into your computer labs, is this sounding familiar? I've been there. I've done this. So instead of having to go through all of that, you can coolly and calmly walk away from your office, go into any computer and log into www.dropbox.com and access your files that are on the cloud. It's great. And now the other thing you can do is you can download the app onto all of your mobile devices. So if you're here in this conference today, anyone have some deals going on? Please shake your heads. Yes, no, yes, nod. We have some deals happening right now. So it's nerve-wracking to be here learning while you have your business happening. But if you get an email or a text message that says, I need this document, again, does that sound familiar? Yeah. So what you can do is you can go into Dropbox and you send a little link. So at the top right, you click that little paperclip and you send a link to the doc. So you can still continue your business. That listing presentation that didn't print, Guess what? Again, you calmly go, you print it, you do what you need to do. Ever have it happen that the Wi-Fi doesn't work at a client's house? Yeah, that happens. So there's some tricks to get away from that so that you have your documents out of Wi-Fi in an appropriate app in your iPad. But again, if you needed to access Dropbox, you could to access your files. So it's really wonderful. Now, if you want to impress your clients, raise your hands if you want to impress your clients. Okay, so we tell our clients stuff that we do. We tell them, these are the services that I provide. I actually tell my clients. And in addition, when you work with me as your listing agent or your buyer's agent, I provide an online transaction management system. And guess what, guys? All I do is invite them to the folder for their file. So every time I have a fully executed document, it's filed very nicely and organized very nicely into a filing system that they have online access to. I can invite their attorneys, I can invite their CPAs, anyone else that they prefer. Now we know not every client is digitally capable. However, would we agree that a lot of our clients are on iPads, iPhones, Androids right now? So I think it's really, really important that we embrace this technology for our business so that we show that we're with them. We know what's happening. Okay, so Dropbox. Did we learn a couple new things about how we can use it? Awesome. Keynote. Keynote is an app. It is Apple's solution to PowerPoint. It's about $9.99, and basically, again, it's just like PowerPoint, but it's for your iPad. So how wonderful would it be, instead of being that guy that was fumbling around with the briefcase, you show up with your iPad and you walk through the listing presentation on your iPad using the Keynote app. At the end of the presentation, I'll give you my email address, which is tomx@tamarasuminski.com, and you can email me and request, and I will send you a free Realtor.com Keynote presentation that you can use to get started with your listing presentation. So it's something that's a tool that you can walk away with and you can utilize it to get started. You can also go to marketing.realtor.com/iPad. I just want to warn you, it's a zip file, so sometimes it's hard to open it on your iPad. That's why I'm willing to email it to you if you would like. TOMX, and it's at my name, at tamarasuminski.com. So here's a sample, and this is a sample of the online marketing plan that I can send to you. Okay, PDF Expert. Does anyone here already have their client sign on their iPad? Okay. By the end of this few days, I hope that all the hands that have iPads go up in the room, because there's no reason why we can't use this technology. So PDF Expert is about $9.99, and it's an awesome app. It is wonderful. All you have to do is open up the PDF into the app. So again, you want to get it out of that Wi-Fi zone and get it into the PDF Expert app, which means you don't need Wi-Fi to access the document once it's in that file. So PDF Expert, as you can see at the bottom right, this was one that I just tested last night for these slides, and I was able to just initial right there on the document. So what's our objective when we go on a listing appointment? Signature. We don't have to fumble with paper. Just put it into PDF Expert and have them initial, have them sign, email them a copy, and now you're ready to go and you're a mobile agent. Another one, the great thing about PDF Expert is if you're missing something. So here's an example of a counteroffer. Item number 1 was the change in the purchase price. Oops, I forgot to type something in item number 2. I don't have to go back to my office. I don't have to go back and reprint the document. It's okay. I click and literally create a cursor for myself, and I change close of escrow to be 30 days or sooner. Could this be amazing stuff to help us in our business? No more having to run back to the office. You're now a mobile agent. You can be efficient on the go. Okay, risk management. When you're taking classes and they tell you all the things that you should and shouldn't do, and you walk out so scared that you may not want to sell real estate again, one of the things they say is have backup, have proof. So right now, the challenge is, some of the things I hear from agents is they feel like, oh, when I get an inspection report or a preliminary report, I have to run back to the office to print it and read it. Does that sound familiar? Again, PDF Expert, you can use it as a viewer. So you can, this is an example of an actual preliminary report that I received this year, and right on there was an abstract of judgment. Could that affect the sale of the house? Absolutely. So it's huge. So you can highlight it. You can circle it. I wrote on the bottom, this could be an issue. Please call me. And now I'm able to email that off to my client. So do you think that while my client's loving me during the transaction, and then after we close, we hear the stories, they love us until they hate us, and they say, she never told me that? Did I tell them? But I didn't have to go back to my office. I could have pulled over, I could have gone to Starbucks, enjoyed a latte, and done it right there. Okay, so how about printing? Are we printing from our iPads? You can print from your mobile devices, guys. So some of the printers that are out there are already Wi-Fi enabled. I'm not going to tell you which app is the best because it depends on the printer you already have. Some of them are Wi-Fi enabled. Some of them will allow you to print using the different setups. So you want it. Does anyone know the magic answer box? Shout it out. I know someone in the room knows it. Google. Google's our magic answer box. So if you're not quite sure which one's compatible, Google the question. I promise you someone has asked the question before you. Okay, you could also print remotely using 3G. So some of these apps, depending on the app and your printer capability, how great would it be that if you're out showing clients, you stop by Starbucks to have a nice iced tea with them because you've been out showing property all day. You want to encourage them to write an offer, so you write it up in Starbucks, and for whatever reason they really want to hold the piece of paper, you could print remotely, and by the time you get back to your office, it's sitting there waiting for you. That could be impressive for them as well. Okay, Splashtop. Some people don't like all the apps. So some of the apps feel different, they look different, they're not exactly a computer. Splashtop is an awesome app that allows you to access your desktop computer remotely. So you can do everything you would in your computer, and you can access and see things the way they look in your computer. So if you really aren't loving the app environment for something in particular, you can access it this way. Okay, we just heard from Andy. How awesome was Andy and his open house information? Yes, thumbs up for Andy. Open Home Pro. This app will make you want to buy an iPad, I promise. The app is about $3.99, and what it does is it allows you to capture the client's sign-in when they come in. So anyone ever fumble around or racing around to an open house, you're putting out your signs, you're turning on the lights, you're baking your pie, you're doing all the stuff you're supposed to do, and you forget your sign-in sheet. So you're wondering, should I use the back of a flyer? What do I do? I've been there. I know what it's like. I'm a realtor too. Okay, so Open Home Pro is this great solution. You do a little bit of homework in the background, and all you really do is upload as many photos as you want. So you're creating a customized website, and the app is $3.99, but you can use this forever. So you can do as many as you want. You're uploading unlimited photos. So you're creating a website, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And then when you get to the open house, you type up some information about the property. In advance, it takes 10-15 minutes max. You get to the property, you flip on the lights, the first person comes through, you click Start Open House. And this is what they see. They get to sign in. Something magical happens. Would you agree the first time that you typed on an iPad, it was pretty cool? Yeah, people like it. And then people that are tech savvy, they also like it because they're like, this agent's pretty cool. They've got something different. So now they're typing, and they're forgetting that they're trying to come up with a fake phone number and a fake email address. They're truthful. No more Jenny 867-5309. You really get their name and number. Okay, the next thing that you do is you can upload specific questions too. You don't want to overdo it. Ask a few questions, and then you can type in some notes afterwards about them if you want to, like they need a CMA, they're thinking about selling things so that you remember who they are. And then when you end the open house, something magical happens. It sends them all this email, thanking them for coming to your open house. You haven't even put your signs away yet, so it's already following up with them for you. And then what it does is it gives them your information. So the email comes from Open Home Pro, but when they reply, the response goes back to you. And they can click, it'll show pictures of the property, it'll show the Google Maps, and then it'll also show them the custom website. Then guess what? They get to help you market this property. What's the average age of a home buyer? 35-ish. Do you think they're on social media? Do you think they're using sites like Twitter and Facebook and Pinterest? So this will allow them to then tweet it out to their friends. So either A, they love the house and they want feedback from their social sphere, or B, they may not love the house, but they've just been there and they want to share it with their social sphere. And guess what? Maybe one of them, they like the house. So you're doing your seller a service as well. And we're all about wowing our buyers and our sellers, so all the services we provide. And then what it also does is it emails you all of their CSV information in a CSV file. So you get to have all of the client contact information so you can download it into your own database as well. This is a sample of what it would look like when you're starting the open house, but the website itself is pretty awesome. The URL to the link of the website, it's kind of a long URL, so I'm going to give you a couple tips on things that I think you can do with this app to make it even better. If you go to a site called Google, GOO.GL, it allows you to shorten a URL. Anyone know what that means? Okay, so if you ever go and you're reading a newsletter or an online magazine or a newspaper article and you want to copy and paste the URL and send it to your client or your friend, the URL is like a mile long. All you do is you copy that and you paste it into GOO.GL and it'll give you a really short little URL. Better and easier to market. But let's take it a step further. After you've done that, you can then click a button called Details, and a free QR code will pop up. So now you can use the QR code in your marketing, on your flyers, on your business cards, on postcards, whatever you want, and it'll drive them to this little website that Open Home Pro created for free. For free. Okay, now if you want to take it even a step further and you don't want to market that funky little link, go to GoDaddy.com. Purchase a domain name. What's the address? 123 Main Street? 123main.com. Purchase that for $13 or $12 or $13 for the year. Forward that funny little URL to that, and now you can market 123main.com, and you've just created a free property website that's beautifully branded, that's got all of the beautiful pictures. It drives traffic to you, helps you set it out to social media, and you're not really thinking or doing much at all. So that's Open Home Pro. I'm telling you, that is the best app on the planet. It's wonderful for realtors. It's wonderful for agents. Everyone should be using it. Okay, Card Munch. Who's an iPhone user? This is actually really an iPhone app, but I want to share it for iPad. If you're an iPad 2 or an iPad 3 user, you have a little camera on your iPad, so you can download iPhone apps. This is awesome for being here at this conference. What are you guys going to do? Are you going to network? Are you going to meet each other? Are you going to pass referrals? Are you going to get more business? Okay, so how many cards are you going to collect? A lot. My quest for you guys is to collect a lot of cards. Use the Card Munch app, and what you do is you take a quick snip of every card, and it sends it to a human to transcribe it. They transcribe it, and it comes back in, and it's set in your contacts, and you're done. Another must-have for the conference. Sound Note for the conference, and Card Munch for the conference. And I had 1 second left, and I'm done. That was perfect. Okay, so hopefully you learned some great tips for your iPad today. There's a lot of stuff we could cover. If you email me at TOMX@TamaraSuminski.com, it's right up here on the right. I'm happy to get you the Realtor.com free keynote listing presentation, and then my Facebook and my Twitter handle are there as well. Thank you very much, you guys.
Nice job. That was awesome. Awesome. Okay.